Hello. In my previous weight loss videos, I've been very critical of the national dietary guidelines because I think they are actually causing people to be overweight or obese. Having been so critical of the NHS, I think it's only right that in this video I describe some of the things the NHS does to tackle obesity. But before I get there, I just want to take a look at those guidelines again with a different perspective than one I've used previously. This chart is government recommendations for energy and macronutrients. Down close to the bottom, highlighted by the yellow arrows, is carbohydrate. They recommend at least 333 grams a day for males and 267 for females. If we move further up the chart to protein, grams per day, 55.5 for men and 45 for females, and fat, less than 97 grams for males and 78 for females. So they're recommending more than twice as much carbohydrate in the diet each day than protein and fat combined. A problem with a lot of dietary advice is it concentrates too much on how much energy we are taking in and not how many nutrients and how important nutrition is. I want to take a look at the differences in protein, fat and carbohydrate in terms of the structure of our bodies. So what are we made of? Well, protein, all of our muscles and organs are made of protein. Our skin and hair, our enzymes and hormones, the antibodies in our immune system are proteins, and hemoglobin that transports oxygen around our blood is a protein, among others. Fat is very important for our body. Every cell in our body has a membrane which is made up largely of fat molecules. The myelin sheath, which covers all of our miles and miles and miles of nerve fibers, is made of fat. Our brains are made of 65% fat. Vitamin D, an absolutely essential vitamin, is created in our skin from a cholesterol molecule, which is a fat which is often demonized. And our sex hormones are also made from cholesterol. Carbohydrate, no part of our body is made of carbohydrate. So the government and the NHS advise us all to eat twice as much of a macronutrient that our bodies simply don't need compared to the two, protein and fat, that we do need. If you go to your doctor because you're overweight and you ask him what you can do about it, he'll tell you to eat less and move more. And if that's not working for you, which it probably won't, the NHS recommends the use of a drug called Orlistat for obese people. If you're really, really overweight, they recommend the use of Orlistat. What is Orlistat? Orlistat is known as a lipase inhibitor. It reduces the absorption of dietary fat. Does Orlistat have side effects? Most drugs do. The common ones are abdominal pain, anxiety, diarrhea, and gastrointestinal disorders. Others, which are much less common but have been reported: anorectal hemorrhage, dermatitis, gallstones, diverticulitis, which is inflammation in the colon, hepatitis, and kidney failure. But the important question is, does Orlistat work? Studies have shown that, on average, Orlistat plus a weight-reducing diet and exercise causes more weight loss than a weight-reducing diet and exercise alone. Wait a minute. You still have to go on a weight-reducing diet and exercise. Some people lose 10% or more of their body weight within 6 months with the help of Orlistat. In others, it is less effective. One reason why Orlistat may not work is that you may think you can relax your weight-reducing diet and the Orlistat will do it all for you. This is not true. To lose weight, you still have to eat less and exercise regularly. In other words, you have to eat less and move more. The rationale behind Orlistat is completely at odds with the research conducted by Keckwick and Powen, which I described in Weight Loss 1. They demonstrated quite clearly that people on a high-fat, low-carbohydrate diet lost considerably more weight than people on a high-carbohydrate diet. But hey-ho, how much does the NHS spend each year on Orlistat? The NHS spent over £8 million on Orlistat in 2020 in England. Orlistat is prescribed roughly once every 2.5 minutes in England. 1 in 5 UK adults want to lose a lot of weight. If you try all these things and still can't lose weight and you're obese and you meet certain criteria, the NHS will offer you bariatric surgery. This is where they operate on your stomach to make it smaller. There are different ways of doing it. They can put a band around your stomach, which can be altered, or they cut away part of your stomach and sew it back up again. Both of these things make your stomach area smaller and make you feel full more quickly, with the idea being that you will therefore eat less. This is major surgery, and according to the NHS website, you should be aware of the potential dangers of that type of surgery. They list them as blood clots, which is a risk in any major surgery, infection of the wound, gastric band slipping out of place, which would require another operation, leak in the gut, where they've cut it and sewed it, food could leak out into the spaces around your gut. The operations can cause a lot of inflammation and block the gut. You can get malnutrition, gallstones, and of course with every major surgery there's always a risk of actually dying during the operation as well. They claim that bariatric surgery does help people to lose weight, but it also risks damaging your health. I often wonder if bariatric surgery is actually ethical. They're going to operate on a vital organ in your body when there is absolutely nothing wrong with that organ. It functions perfectly well. There's nothing wrong with your stomach. What's wrong is the food you're putting in your stomach. It seems far more sensible to me to change diet than to change the shape and structure of a vital organ inside your body. But there is plenty of demand for this type of surgery. There are lots of private clinics that you can go to, and according to the NHS website, private weight loss surgery has these typical prices. Gastric band surgery between £4,000 and £8,000, gastric bypass £8,000 to £15,000, and sleeve gastrectomy £8,000 to £10,000. There's a lot of money involved in obesity treatment. So you decide that you don't want drugs and you don't want surgery, and you think, well, to lose weight, I'll join one of those slimming companies. There are several, but the most well-known one is Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers has been going since the 1950s, so it's been operating throughout the entirety of the surge in obesity rates around the world. It operates on a points system, and to be fair to them, the points are calculated on a mixture of calorie content and nutritional content. But fundamentally, it's a calorie counting system, and reduced calories will help you lose weight in the short term, but not in the long term. I don't think Weight Watchers has made a dent in the obesity crisis, but it is a very successful business. This is a chart of Weight Watchers International gross profits by year. The scale on the left goes up to $1 billion. From 2011 to 21, they've been making over $1 billion in some years, and the average is around about $750 million profit. With Orlistat, bariatric surgery, Weight Watchers and its equivalents, there is an enormous amount of money to be made in obesity treatment, and I tend to believe that an awful lot of it is about their wealth and not our health. I have said a lot about what not to do and what I think is wrong, but what do I recommend? The first step in losing weight is to control hunger. We need to eat real food that comes from a farmer or a fisherman and not from a factory. The carbohydrate insulin roller coaster increases hunger, whereas a diet of protein and fat is satiating and reduces hunger. A diet of highly nutritious food provides all the nutrients we need and therefore also reduces hunger. Some people may mistakenly call it a fad, but intermittent fasting reduces hunger because it reduces insulin and allows access to our fat stores. Intermittent fasting can be as simple as eating all our daily food in an 8 or 10-hour window. This is much easier to do if we're eating a low carbohydrate. Snacking has no place in a healthy diet. If you feel the need to snack between meals, you need more protein and fat in your meals. We need to eat unprocessed food that we cook at home. The nurse who wrote to me after reading my book, Stop Feeding Us Lies, lost 6 stone in weight and improved her health after yo-yo dieting for years. This is a short extract from that book. All types of animal foods are suitable for a low carbohydrate diet. Beef, lamb, pork, fish, poultry, eggs, cheese, milk, cream, and yogurt are highly nutritious and have a very limited effect on insulin levels. Vegetables growing above the ground are generally low in carbohydrate and are suitable for people wanting to lose weight and improve their metabolic health. Vegetables from under the ground, such as turnips, parsnips, and potatoes, are mainly starch and will cause high blood sugar and insulin. Eat home-cooked meat and veg. It's that simple. Why aren't we told this? Because when we all buy our food from our local butcher and our local greengrocer, the food companies can't make any money out of it. Yes, I know I'm cynical, but when I see so many people struggling with their weight and health, when I know how easy it is to avoid, I can't help but be cynical. So, I hope to speak to you again soon, and in the meantime, I wish you good health.